Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming and this is going to be another Godforge video. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about my experience with the game, and I want to mention that, well, I beat the game, right? It actually happened on Friday night. Just yesterday on Saturday I was really busy with, IRL stuff, working on the house and whatnot, but this was a pretty fun experience and I actually managed to beat everything. So I guess let's go through a few things that I've seen and done. So this was actually a really fun and amazing experience. You can kind of check out my live streams that I've posted on doing this. I live streamed day 1, day 2, day 3. I didn't live stream yesterday because, like I said, really busy, but it was a really fun experience. It was a little bit of a grind, but I personally loved it and enjoyed it. Now, obviously, I do want to mention that, everything that's happening in the alpha, just in case people don't realize, it's work in progress. Everything is subject to change, right? So there is going to be a ton of bugs. There's going to be lots of stuff that's not there. There's going to be, quality of life missing. So that's the reality. That is what an alpha is. It's supposed to be a playing ground, right? Where they have a big batch of people, which was around 5,000 this time, that they allowed in Alpha Wave 1 to play this. And honestly, the thing was, and the reason for this is they want to see exactly how do people interact with it, in a sense of, do they like the gameplay? Do they like the team building? Where do people get stuck? Where do people start farming? Try and squash out bugs. If there's some stuff that's happening that, it's not supposed to happen, as in, somebody's supposed to die, but they're not dying, somebody's passive not working well, some of the graphics have glitches. That's what's happening in alpha, and that's kind of the reason why they do it, right? Not too many games do something like this, and that's what kind of sets Fateless and Godforge apart from all the other games, is the fact that they are kind of like based on everything community and trying to be as transparent as possible. Now, for one thing I noticed here, I kind of brought 4 people, even though I can use 5. That's on me, but that's fine. I think I should still be able to do it. But as you can see, the reality is, it's a really fun game. It's a really cool game, and they have some really amazing mechanics. Okay, I might actually lose this. But, for example, if there's going to be some things that people would say about, I don't know, graphics, that, it's not the best, it's not quite there. The reality is, this one looks so much better on mobile, for example, on Android, but this is something that they can easily fix, and they make it even crisper, they make it look even better, as it's, not something that's mandatory. So definitely keep in mind that this one, for what Simon said in his recent video, the graphics are at like 60% of where they want it to be. So honestly, for this being 60%, that looks pretty amazing, right? Now, the cool things that I also love, and are especially the mechanics. Some of the things that the game has done really well is some of their core mechanics, right? Like, I've seen a few things that I don't think I've seen any other game do it that way. So obviously do keep in mind, at the base, at the core of it, the game is going to be a turn-based, hero collector, RPG, where you fight teams, you build teams, you progress and whatnot. They're not trying to rewrite the genre, right? They're not trying to completely write it. However, they are going to be bringing some really cool and some really interesting stuff that will definitely set them apart. Now, we're not going to be seeing everything in this one, but there are quite a few things that I personally enjoyed. Like, for example, let me just go back in there. Let me see if I can show you a good example. So one of the best things that I like, and kind of like, I think this is an extremely good game mechanic that kind of opens up the door to do to a lot of speed tuning, to theory crafting, crazy like that, is the way that the Divinity and Ultimate system works. So Divinity is pretty much this bar over here that you see gathers. If you hold, it kind of says like people gain Divinity by, for example, Zeus, Divinity when dealing damage to an enemy. If you look at Pangu, Divinity when attacking enemies under debuff. If you look at Heimdall, Divinity when an ally is attacked by an enemy. So pretty much the Divinity keeps scaling up, and once it's full, it's gonna look like Skadi's looks right now, right? That means when your Divinity is full, you can use your ultimate. But the fun thing is like this. You saw Skadi just got a turn. Now it's Heimdall's turn, right? This is like Heimdall's basic attack. Heimdall's core ability. So the cool thing is, I can use Scotty's one now, right? As long as you hit the right divinity and you have the ultimate ready, I could just be like, boom, let me go ahead and use Scotty's one, and then I can continue doing all my other abilities. So this to me is something that's mind-blowing and definitely can, you know, just make this be 10 times more fun, 10 times more interesting, as there's so many things you can do. If you keep in mind, they run a release with over 200 characters. To have that be available, that's just gonna open the door to a lot of, you know, a lot of theory crafting, a lot of mechanics. Now, another cool thing that I like, let's just back out of the battle. Another cool thing that I like that, you know, we can see right now is the imprint system. So if you look at gearing, right, we have normal gear, and then we do have weapons. So each weapon has some specific effects, you know, some bring damage, some bring survivabilities, they bring a set main stat on most of the type ones, and then a different substat. That's really amazing. But if you look at the imprint, right, what this one does is, for example, let's go to imprint. You can imprint a passive from a different hero to a weapon. Now, all of the heroes from rare and above, so rares, epics, and legendaries, they have a certain passive. So what you can do is you can take them and make an imprint out of them, and then you can put that on a weapon. So let's show a perfect example. One of the ones that I noticed that I love and looks amazing. So let's go to the rare Bauk, right? So Bauk, if you look at his abilities, his passive says has a 50% chance to counterattack when this hero receives debuff or disable. This sounds like one of the best things that could be as an imprint from my point of view, right? So that's a passive. So what I can do is, let's go back out of here. We can go to Anvil of Creation, you go to extraction, and let me select Bauk, right? Let me select this one and extract that passive, and boom. Now, obviously the good thing is it's not going to be the exact same passive. It's going to be half of the effect. So, for example, now, if I want to imprint in a weapon, let's go to Wayland Smith. Let's say go to Dracula's one. If I want to go and imprint, let's add the imprint. I can go and add Bauk's imprint, right? This one has, instead of 50, has 25%. It's still amazing. It's still a 25% chance to counterattack when you receive a debuff or disable. You can just do that, and boom, this is going to be another passive that your hero has, apart from having their own one. This is just, again, mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. This is really cool and really fun. Now, what else? There's so much to go over. I'm not going to go absolutely over every single thing. I just want to give, you know, a video of my first reaction of playing the game, of doing it. I'm loving it. I'm going to try and release more videos. So I'm going to be doing videos on like hero first looks, like stuff that I learned and whatnot. But then also before we get into Alpha 2, I'm going to try, based on what I learned in Alpha 1, I'm going to try and make a guide of, like, you know, beginner guide for alpha, just so you know things that you need to focus. So as an example, a couple of things that I noticed that's worth keeping in mind is stages ending with 9 give you a lot more XP, hero XP. So if you want to farm more XP, you're gonna get that. Stages ending with 8 give you a lot more gold. So if you're lacking gold to be able to level up more stuff, that's where you're gonna go. Stages ending with 0 and with 5 are usually the ones that can drop legendaries, right? If you look over here, but it's pretty straightforward, right? If you wanna see what you found, just go over here, click reward preview, and it shows you what you get. So for example, stages 1 give you helmets, stages 2 give you chest plates, stages 3 give you pauldrons, 4 give you gauntlets, 5 is, like I said, the one that gives you gear and stuff, 6 legs, and then 7 should be boots, right? So it's for the gear, you see this one. But then in between, you're gonna have stuff that is gonna give you, like, for example, this gives you the resource for leveling up your weapons. There's, like, you know, so many things, considering it's an alpha, right? Considering it's an alpha, it's so many cool things, so many fun things that I've seen, so many amazing stuff that I've done, and I'm loving it so far, honestly. Like, let me know if you in comments down below. If you watch some other videos and some other creators, how are you enjoying the alpha? Do you think it looks cool? Do you think not? I don't know. What's some good feedback? What's some, what did you enjoy? What did you not enjoy? Try to keep it civil, though, and try to, you know, be constructive, not just be like, oh, it sucks. Just because, you know, I know, unfortunately, a lot of you out there are rate simps. Like, I have to call it. That's the reality. You might hate me for it, but that's the truth, right? People just hate it because they want to hate it. But all in all, for an alpha, I think it does look really amazing. Now, when it comes to this stage, right, because this is kind of like the main subject, I guess, of the video. When it comes to the last one, I beat it, and going to stage 151, the thing is, it's not currently working as intended. as far as I've seen Simon mention, because this one, it's supposed to do a lot more damage as it ramps up. So for example, I can go into the fight, let me show you actually a screenshot, but I can go into the fight, I can set this fight to go, and this fight could go on for 10 days, right? If my PC can handle it, this can go on for 10 days because I never die, right? I pretty much never die. Now, unfortunately, I could not save a damage. I might just let this one run. I can just put it on auto. They do their fights, but the reality is, like I mentioned, this one's just not dying. Let me just go ahead and look for this screenshot. The thing is, like I said, this is supposed to be ramping up. So, for example, this is where my session expired. I actually did, with this exact team, 423 million. And that could have kept going and kept going and kept going. And this was like, I think, an hour of me having it on the phone and just the phone keep grinding. So this is kind of the truth and the reality of this one works. Now, the way that they're going to change it, I think that's going to happen for Alpha Wave 2. I don't think they're going to do it for this one. But I think they're going to make it, or it was supposed to be this way, from stage 151, the boss's damage is supposed to ramp up. So you're supposed to do more and more damage, so that obviously you're not going to be, you know, living forever. Because if that's the case, then, well, you cannot compete much. It's just going to be like, who can keep their PC open with this game more without doing anything else? That's going to be the one that takes the first place. And obviously that's not going to be a fun competition. That's why, personally, I'm not going to be maybe testing that much on this. I might just be bringing some other people and just test, like, okay, let's see who can do more damage faster and whatnot. But just for the sake of trying to get the best damage, I'm not going to be doing that, right? I'm just going to save one. Let me show you the leaderboard as well. They have a cool thing that they have on hellhades.com. They do have a leaderboard of, like, you know, people that did it. If you see that it keeps going like this, doesn't show, you just have to constantly refresh the cache for some reason. So after you do that, you're going to see, there we go. So stage level, whoever got to 150. I'm over here at the bottom. It doesn't say like who finished in what order. I think I finished, like, I was the 6th or 7th person to get to 150. Then you have the challenge level. This is like how many stars you get. You go Xavarok. Nice to see him. He's one of the people from my community that I've seen. That's really good. Look at Grim going crazy. But like, yeah, this is for the challenges. Over here, I have not pushed challenges. I should be somewhere at the bottom. There we go, 40. And then if you go and look at the final boss damage, you're going to see some obscene stuff, right? 585. I know somebody's been leaving it for like over a day now. I think we might just see some billion numbers. But again, I did the first try, just got 20 million. That's before I got Draken and tested them. And yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be pretty fun to see this damage. It's pretty fun to see the testing. But all in all, I'm personally really enjoying this you know, this alpha and the gameplay and the mechanics and the team comps and everything. It just looks like, honestly, if somebody told me, oh yeah, play this game mode from this game, I would think that this is a fully fledged game, right? Apart from the fact, like I said, there's obviously lots of bugs because it's an alpha and stuff. I would believe that, okay, this game is done. It's a fully fledged game and they just showed me one area of the game I could play. It's awesome. I love it. I'm gonna have, again, more videos. Maybe like after the full 10 days is over, I might just do a, you know, I might do a collab with Susie, with the missus, to try and have a look at some of the stuff, like, you know, what's the feedback been so far in the community. That's why I said, you guys let me know in the comments down below, what's your feedback? What do you think about it? I personally love it. But we're gonna leave it at this for now. Thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.